Wagwan, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be covering volume profiles, how to use them, and how they can boost your trading. So I've had a few questions recently. A lot of people don't really look into the side of trading. They're going into more the ICT, smart money concepts, whereas this is the key backbone to the market, really, these volume profiles. I'm not going to go too deep into it. I want to keep the video short, snappy and educational, so it's not going to take like hours out of your day. I just want it to be nice and easy to understand, straight to the point. So what I'm going to do now is just go to a random part on the chart, so just scroll back, replay, put the replay in, and see where we are. So I'm going to go down to the 1 hour just to prolong this time period. And what you want to do is you want to find periods of consolidation. So in this instance here, we've got just here. So that's our consolidation period. So the idea is you want to long below the value area low and short above the value area high. So we'll just play this forwards a bit and just see what the market does. So again, at value area high, we're looking to aim towards this POC and possibly value area low. Still above the value area high again, so it's possible to take shorts, but the POC's quite close. If the POC was down here, it'd be nicer. So we've taken these liquidations above the value area high. Obviously, I know myself that March this year we did start pumping up quite nicely, but for now we'll leave it as it is. So this whole time here, if we're going to take shorts, targeting the value area high here, and as we started to break up a bit into this range, we can actually pull this a bit further back to get a better view of this consolidation period. So still value area high, anywhere above the value area high, looking to take shorts. So as you can see there, as we came above the value area high the first time, straight down to the POC, and if we break below the POC, it's likely we test the value area low. So there's a key example of it, touching the value area low. Obviously this just changed over time, but we did break below the value area here. So you could key longs up from here, but you realistically want to look at these liquidation points here. I'll be doing another video on this, how to identify key liquidity, but just as a brief overview, we'll be looking at these areas here, possibly here, and just buy side. So you see here, that fast wick to the value area low, and from there you can expect taking out local liquidity. So that was also resting liquidity after we broke away from that area, so that could have been drawn in, taking liquidity, and you'd aim, well, if you're trading exactly here, which would be quite difficult given how fast it was, you'd be aiming towards the POC and to here. Hit value area high, looking to take a short there, back down to the value area low. I'm just going to get rid of these lines. At the value area low, now we're looking to trade up to the value area high. Touching the POC, so in between this value area here, this is the key target to pass. If you are resisting here a lot, it's almost like a door. The more you knock on it, the more you push through. So if we keep resisting, we can expect hopefully to push through, retest and go to the top. So we just came below the value area again, and we took out all the pools of liquidity from before. So as you can see there, the POC is keeping us below it, and it pushed us out of the value area. So we've taken liquidations out of the value area low now. Now we can start to expect a move up to here. Now if we zoom out a bit more on a higher time frame, you can see maybe some other key targets. We're going to get into that in a minute. So we made this low, came back up, touched the value area low, that'd be your first target. Second target POC, touched that already, so now next target would be the value area high. Again here we've pushed through that POC, we've retested it. That should give us hopefully a nice push up towards the value area high. So we're having a bit of a problem here, keep testing it. As I said, the more the door's knocked, the more likely it is to push through, so I'm not as confident now, but we'll see. Must be into the weekends now. Yeah, so that bit of consolidation. all here is just jaggedy price action, whereas here going into the weekend it's not doing much. So Monday's opening, Monday's pushed up to the value area high, and if you want to take a short of the value area high, same goes. So you get the idea of how to use a volume profile. Obviously the settings I use here, so 250 rows, 70% volume. The alt volume we do blue and yellow, and the main volume green and red. POC light pink, just so it changes out from any red lines that I draw, and the value high and lows just drew in there. So now to make this stronger, I do incorporate a periodic volume profile. So what this does is draws a volume profile for each day, then highlights naked points of control outside of that area. So points of control that haven't been tested after that day, and these are highlighted with the red lines on the chart. It's a lot to look at the start, but these are your key targets outside of that value area to start touching. So as soon as you touch it, you can start looking for the reversals potentially. So one has just been taken there. You can start to frame a reversal. A lot of times it's good to sort of aim it at these points of control, but pushing past them is fine. So we've taken two points of control there, and we're starting to come up into this higher range up here. So when we start to come into these levels, I can extend the volume profile. So we've taken out all of these MPOCs here, and we can most likely start to expect a move down. However, I'm going to move up the time frame now to just get a bigger picture. So here in this situation, let me just hide these MPOCs for now. Pull this value area a bit more for this whole range. Now we can see in that whole time there, we just go back so you can see it. We were below the value area, so longs would have been favoured. So any longs we would have taken before when we was checking it would have been favoured. So we'll just play it back again. So you see here, this is where we're at before. We're coming up to this POC. So we can turn these back on and just highlight any daily points of control. So we've got some there, got some there. The benefit of this indicator is you can go in and you can do it for a weekly as well. So we'll see what weekly showing. Nothing major. There is a, I'd call that an MPOC because we didn't really test it properly, just above the POC here. But we don't look to trade the POC in the ranges. This is just the target. We're looking really for this value area high to take shorts. Obviously this is a good resistance level anyway, but I'd rather the full range trade. So come up to the value area high. As we came up there, it has changed. We'll see it at the time. So to see it this time, we'll have this dream. We could start eyeing up shorts there. It does change, but it's not nothing too major, to be honest. You just pop above it, and obviously if you're going to take shorts here, you'd aim down towards this POC. Taking out the licks. So see, we're tapping on this value area high quite a lot, which isn't technically, it's not ideal, it's not favourable, to be honest. As I said before, the more you tap on it, the more it's likely to break. So if we keep tapping on this, it's likely we do push up a bit higher, to be honest. But our main target, if we were taking shorts here, was down to this POC and ultimately the value area low. So you see, we kept testing it there, breaking the doorway to higher prices. So one good example in this chart is when we came down here, broke these lows, came back up to the value area high, to this MPOC here. So just here is where you could start framing reversals. Now if you want to dive into this deeper, for now we know we're above the value area high. You can then go to draw this for the same range. Obviously at the time it's slightly different. Let's just go back even to here. I'll go back here, make it fair. You can see we're above the value area high, MPOC, and another thing I do like to use is the FIP retracement tool. So see here we're lined up with that 786, so that's a good area to start looking to short. Obviously didn't quite come back into the full range there, but the benefit of having a smaller time frame here is you've got this POC to aim for and this value area low to aim for, so you can catch a bit of a smaller move. So came down to the pot, resisted there. Back above the value area. Then came down to the value area low. So again, in another situation like this, even if it's not got an MPOC, straight to the 786 just there. But yeah, that's been a quick, short, snappy video of how to trade volume profiles. I'll be going into this a bit more depth in the future, using this a bit more, and also using the retracement tool, and then finally diving into Market Cipher B down here. But that's going to be one of the last things I go into. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, hope it was useful, and I'll catch you next time. See you.